So in terms of the methodology, when you get to it, either today or at some point in next week, or you should be at it before the end of this week, what are you really looking at? 4 aspects to methodology. You can see them listed there. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger on your screen so you can all see it. You are looking at the plan. That's how you're going to go about gathering your data. That's number 1 on this list. You're thinking closely about the location that you went to. Where is it? I'm a reader of your project. I want to know where it is. Okay, I want to know why you selected it. Why was it suitable? I want you to think about your sampling strategy. Well, we had a big long line translate. That was the method we used on that beach. We followed the tape measure and we moved in line, didn't we? Perpendicular to the sea. Perpendicular means if this is the sea, this table is the sea, I'm walking away inland. And we stopped, I think it was every 20 meters. Equal. So that's what we call a systematic sampling strategy. But why is that suitable? It's great that you know that if you stop at equal intervals, we call that systematic sampling. That makes you sound intelligent. But the real reason is, why did that suit? And are there any limitations? Can anyone think of a problem that might be created by stopping every 20 meters?
One of our poles may have been caught on one side of the hill and on the other.
Right.
So you can actually see them.
So you've got a sand dune, and you're at the bottom, at the start with your pole, and then 20 meters away is actually the other side of the sand dune, and you completely missed out the sand dune because you had to do it 20 meters. That was the rule you set yourself. So you skipped quite an important thing, because at the top of the sand dune, there's going to be something different than at the bottom. Something's going to happen at the top of the sand dune because you're high, you're exposed to the wind, different types of plants probably going to be up there, different soil and all that stuff. But your sampling strategy didn't allow you to say, oh, we're at the top of the sand dune, let's stop and get some data here. Let's put our pH probe to see if there's anything happening. You're not allowed to because you've selected a systematic sampling strategy. The nice thing about stopping every 20 meters is it's dead easy to follow. It's like, let's just measure 20, and then let's do it again, and then again, and again. Okay? So there's pros and cons of any strategy you use to gather data. And that's something we'll do a lot more when we go to Millport. And then finally, data gathering. What technique did I use? I used the pH probe. I used ranging pulse. I used a tape measure. That's fine, but as I told you last lesson, it's not just about I did this, I did this, I did this. It's I did this, and the reason this was suitable for gathering good data was. Okay? And we are high school students, and therefore the level of equipment we're using is probably not quite sophisticated as if we were university students. They might have £1,000 highly sensitive pH probe to get their data, or they might take a little sample of the soil using a soil auger, which is a drill, and they might take it back to a laboratory and test it to find out what the pH is. That's even a higher level. Some of you in your own projects, if you're doing soil, will actually be doing that, because we've got better pH probes than the one we use. We've got ones that will actually chemically test the soil. Okay? Right, but why am I stopping today? Because I actually want to show you a skill. I'm just going to create a new Google Doc. In advanced hydrography, when you present information, you really want to present as much information as you can using images, pictures, maps, diagrams. Okay? They are higher order than words. Words help people understand things, but they don't help them visualize things. And we are all visual people. Humans are very, very visual. When we see something, we understand it better than when we hear something. If I talk to you for an hour about how a quarry forms, you would be asleep after 5 minutes. If that was all I did. If I showed you a little video with a little glacier creating a quarry on a mountain, and there was a little animation, and then I showed you some pictures of a quarry, what it looks like today, and maybe what it would have looked like before the start of the Ice Age, and then I told you about some key things of a glacier, plucking and abrasion, your understanding just goes up 1,000%, because we are visual learners. All humans are. Okay? So in the Advanced Geography project, you want to be as often as possible using not just lots of words, but actually connecting your words to images, maps, or diagrams. Now what that means is annotation. Okay? Now first of all, let's think about annotating a map. You picked a site to do your study. Okay? So first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a map. Okay, so if you all want to get your laptop lids open, you're all going to want to use a Digimap. Okay, and as you scroll down RM Unify, you will get to Digimaps, which I'm just trying to find it myself. Where has it gone? There it is. It's got a little globe and a little pencil. And you're going to open up Digimaps. Now, I'm fairly sure at this stage, is it giving you username and password?
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to need a username and a password. And there it is. PH73AN, that's the school's postal code. And then we've got this awesome word, GAPS-ED9107. You can see it on the board. And it will allow you into Digimap. Now, guys, in the next month, that's going to change. So if you suddenly find you on Digimap and it locks you out, come and speak to me or send me an email. Every year they update my username. Well, no, they update my password. And I have to always tell the students, this is the new password. It's really irritating, but Edinburgh University are the people that produce this. Right. So, it's logging me in. Exciting stuff. Here we are. Nice and slow. Right, so next thing. Who are we going to pick here for this? Rowan. What's your postal code, Rowan?
PH15 2LD.
PH15
2LD.
2LD. Right. Oh, does that look familiar? Right. So we've got a real tight zoom in here, and I'm just going to close this. Let me just close it. Come on, go away. Yeah. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit because right now, the problem with that level map, is it's really good for detail, but it doesn't really give you a context of location. So let's just say I'm introducing my audience to where my field study is. That might be quite good, right? Why is that enough? Because I've now, my map's got like Aberfeldy in it. Now guys, you don't need to have maps up there. You can choose to go wherever you want. You can find your own home. Most students do. I want to find a map of my own house. And I want to put this in my project. So there's two steps. Step one is I've got to either just screenshot, or I tend to like, it really depends what technology you like to use. I use what's called the snip function. And I think if you've got a MacBook, you're not going to have that. Have we got any Mackies? Oh, we've got Ross and his iPad. That's going to always a challenge, but I'm sure you've got your own shortcut for this. So I'm going to snip. Here we are. I'm going to cut that. I've now copied it up here, and that's on my clipboard. I'm now going to get rid of this, and I'm going to go back to my Google Doc. I just opened up, not that one, this one. Right, now I've got a map, and I'm going to put that in my project, but I could then write about that map. I could call that map Figure 6. I'm going to have to give it a name, and I'm also going to have to give it a title. But to do that, in Google Docs, this is where the drawing function works nicely for most of us. I'm not sure how the drawing function works for iPad users. iPads are the curse of Google education. And that's an Apple Google thing, even though they're two big corporations that don't like each other. Brings up the drawing function, okay? And the first thing I'm going to do in my drawing function is I'm going to bring my picture in. Now there's a quick way of doing it, and it's CTRL and the V button, that's a paste. Or if I can't be bothered doing that, I'm just going to dismiss this. I can go paste. And there we go. There is the map. Right, I now want to start adding information. As you're going to want to do with any image, map, or diagram you put in your project, needs to go through this little sort of step. First thing is, this will be maybe the 7th diagram I've included. So I'm going to want to name it. I'm going to create a little text box. That's what I did up here, text box. And I'm going to call it figure 7. What that means is I must have 6 other figures before this. I'm going to give it a title. Okay? I'm going to call it location of my study area. And I'm going to center that title. So over here, I've got the centering option. There we go. And I'm going to want to put that in bold. And I might want to increase the font size. And I can even change the color if I'm getting really excited about these things. There we go. Right, what else do I need? Especially for a map, I need some basics. Down here, I'm going to draw an arrow pointing up the way. And I'm going to make it a bit thicker because I want, oh no, I don't want that. Oh, I'm getting this all the wrong way around. Here we are. Here's my thickness. I'm going to make it, there we are. Why am I putting an arrow in? Why? Does anyone want to suggest? Because I have to have some indication of the orientation of my map. Now, OS maps are really good because they always point north. But other maps you might be using might not have a north orientation. So I do need to know where is north, where is south. Don't assume it's the top of the map. If it's an OS, it will be the top of the map. Do I need a scale? Probably not. Why do I not need a scale? What do I know about OS maps? 1 grid box is 1 kilometer, okay? Now, I might actually choose to leave this map as it is and go for a more zoomed in map if I was maybe wanting to show us a hill that I was going to use in do my study on. So let's just show how I could use that. If, for example, I was starting at the bottom of this hill next to the road and I was walking to the top of the hill, and that was going to be my transect. I was going to study that slope. I would put a line in. I might make it a bit thicker. I might choose to make it a different color. What is that line? Well, what is that line? What could that line be? I'll just indicate on my map. That could be my transect. Now I want to tell the audience that this is my transect. So I could put a little text box and say, the transect to be studied is, how long is that? That's about 300 meters length, going from 100 meters above sea level to, what have we got about, I'll just say 200 meters. Okay. I've added information. I can choose at this point, do I want to move this off my diagram, or because I can't really see it, so I can maybe move it up here. If I've got a text box, I want to always link my text box to the information I'm talking about. So that's my transect. Okay. And I might also want some other information. So why did I start where I started? Why might the starting point of this student who's going to walk up this line and gather data, why might they start where they started? Look at the map. What's that? It's by a road. That's as simple as. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little arrow up to the road and add some information. Okay. Starting point selected due to good access from a nearby road. There we go. Now, what are you starting to do with your map? I'm going to go no further now. A lot of that where would have that text originally been? It's now attached to the map, but where would it normally be in a project? In your word count. But now it's not. It's now an annotation on a map. Now you can do exactly the same with a photograph. If you select a photo of you gathering some data, you can add your annotations. Now, just one word of caution here. I don't want to see a photo with loads of annotations, and then another photo with loads of annotations, and then another photo. And that's it. I'm like, where's the words? Oh, but I was saving my words for later on. No. The mark, anything that goes here really should be descriptive. When you start explaining, why did you start at 100 meters and go up to 200 meters? Why did you pick that location? Why that particular transect? Why was the road so important? Now that should be what's called in the body of the text. That's where you actually write about it. The justification for what you do is where the marks are in advanced hire. How you did it is not where the marks are in advanced hire. That's why you can plant them in your annotation. Now, when you're ready, when you're happy with everything you've added, you just go save and close. Okay? And it's going to drop it in. There we go. If I'm not happy and I want to change this, click on your image, hit the edit button, and it takes you back and you can edit it again. You can jump in and out and add information. I would, for example, let's just say Rowan is going to stop at 10 sites. I want to show the 10 sites. She wants to show the 10 sites. She stopped that. Is that good enough? With that map, could she add 10 little points that she went on that line? What would be the problem? Too small. So what she's probably going to then need is a separate map altogether. Like this, where she drew the transect from here to here and then showed me the 10 sites. And in all reality, no one's just going to do one transect in an advanced light project. We're going to do multiple transects. Because you're going to want to, what you want to see is what's happening on one slope, the same as all my other slopes. If this was your type of study, I know many of you do different studies. You might also, because I might be a marker in Oban High School and I've received Emily Warden's Advanced High project and I'm marking it. And I have no idea where Weem is, right? I'm like, where is this person doing their study? I need to know this. Well, a map that's a bit further out might also be useful because it gives you the wider geographical location. Ah, there's Weem, right there. You might even put a circle around it with an annotation saying, location field study. You don't need to start with the whole of Scotland, guys. You really don't. It's a Scottish geography that's going to mark your project. They're going to have a reasonable knowledge. The idea is, when it comes to the point where you show your site, I have an idea where in Scotland, roughly it is, and also the localized area, and also I know where you're studying within that area. Is it a transect? Is it lots of points across that area? Like Fern. Fern, you're not going to be on a transect, I doubt. You're going to be in multiple fields, aren't you? So yours are going to be point sampling. Now that's different from a line. That's just where I'm there, I'm in that field, I'm in that field. So you'll have multiple, so you'll be shown on your map differently. You'll just have each one number. Your first field might be called field 1, field 2, so on. Are we all clear on that? Right. That can be used for everything. I don't think you should have a single photograph, map, or diagram, or chart, or anything that goes in that's visual that doesn't have annotations on it, that are at least doing something that's descriptive. Everything should have information added to it. Pretty pictures are lovely to look at, but they're not worth anything on their own. They are literally worth nothing in your project. As soon as you start putting information onto pictures, maps, diagrams, graphs that you create, suddenly you're up leveling the communication of knowledge and information, and that's where the marks are. Okay, I'm just going to stop recording now.